Heather's Year in Review 2024. There's a photo of, I'm not sure what it is of. I took it on the 1st of January 2024 in Cajica here in Colombia. And it's like through a gate, you can see a brick building with a window. And in the corner of the window, it looks like a white man in a suit, young man, peeking in the corner, but it's a photo or a mannequin. I think it's a photo, but it looks very weird and creepy. Looking back, my health. I started the year with hyperthyroidism due to Graves' disease and have ended it with a stable thyroid, I think and feel, but we'll get a blood test next week. However, I've spent the past month feeling a bit of a relapse of ME/CFS after 15 years of not having it, so am managing that. I am not too concerned, but it is taking some thoughtfulness. And the day I am recording this, January 2nd, 2025, I have a cold, cough, so apologies for how I sound. My work. Conflict engagement. Was able to try my hand at professional conflict engagement based on what I had learned from Mickey Cashton. Her weaving togetherness lab was incredible and scary and sweaty, and I can't wait to do more. If you need any conflict support, let me know. Organizational systems. Also based on Mickey Cashton's work, I have been supporting organizations with improving their feedback culture, how resources and information flow, and how they make decisions. Love learning and practicing at the same time. Let me know if you want more information. Coaching. So much coaching. Some for organizations, some for professionals who pay me, and some I offer for free. I appreciate all those who are able to pay so that I can continue to offer it free to people struggling or living in the global south with limited income. I support folks in conflict, identity, power, privilege, visioning, and much more. I work on a gift economy basis. Let me know if you are interested. We are Lach. 2 colleagues and I began an experimental podcast in 2024, which was really fun. We covered sustainability and aviation, fashion, higher education, visioning, ecofascism, and COP16 in Cali. The latter will be our final episode and will come out this month in January. Professional offers and needs shares. Began running these with Chris, and people are really appreciating a space for connection and are asking for more. See next Kidoozy letter for details. Meanwhile, if you want to do some professional networking in a more caring setting, we have several dates available this month. They are free of charge. Donations welcome. My activism. Climate change education under Trump 2.0. Brought together some educators concerned about the political climate to come in just 18 days. We need to support one another on many, many levels. Ecofascism literacy. I ran a workshop on ecofascism, and although I've tweaked the content a bit, you can still watch a video I made on this. You can also check out this podcast episode on ecofascism I did with We Are Lach recently. Degrowth and anti-fascism. Been working on a joint project for which I needed to read some of the books below. Quoted in a book. Hugely grateful to Peter Gelderloos for including a quotation from me in his new book, They Will Beat the Memory Out of Us. I am critiquing Extinction Rebellion from my personal experience in 2019. I have learned so much from Peter, and so it feels quite emotional to get to be in one of his books. I haven't finished the book yet, so you will see it on my list of books I am reading in 2025 in the next Kidoozy letter. My folks. Gained several new colleagues, friends this year, and lost quite an important one due to many things that I will not name in this public space, but it was painful, and I learned a lot, and am putting the learnings into everything I do in collaboration now. Books. These are the books I finished in 2024. Up from Under the Rulers by H. Peter Steeves. I attended Peter's Insight seminar series and loved the book. It sets out the case for communitarian anarchism, why we need each other, why states don't work, why rights discourse doesn't work. The philosophical and creative bent are lovely. Plus, this book led me to Afro-Pessimism by Frank B. Wilderson. This was a deeply painful memoir that exposes the fundamental material reality with regard to anti-blackness in the world. No easy answers are given, but it has profoundly changed my thinking, and this book led me to the following, plus what you will see is on my list for 2025 in the next K-Doozy letter. Black Skin, White Masks by Frantz Fanon. A classic that I had never read, gives some historical perspective to the above book, more philosophical and academic. Feminist Anti-Fascism by Eva Majewska. I had bought this book a couple of years ago but hadn't returned to it. However, as part of a review of an academic paper, it was recommended that this book be read. It is very grounded in what happened with solidarity in Poland and what makes sense on the ground with what we are facing now. Another difficult academic read, but I will be drawing upon this in upcoming activism and writing. Three-Way Fight by Christian Alexander and Matthew N. Lyons. Another useful book that I read for the project on degrowth and anti-fascism, but I also really appreciate how it deals with the issue of when you agree with your fiercest enemy on some things. Three-Way Fight covers why we need to be vigilant on fascism, liberals, and keeping on heading towards a world that works for everyone. Means and Ends by Zoe Baker. Speaking of a world that works for everyone, this is a great history of anarchism in Europe between 1868 and 1939. It gave me a systemic way to think about my own beliefs. Thank you to A for telling me that she was reading it. 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I'm a Colombian USer who had never finished a GGM book. Inspired by my daughter reading it in Spanish and the TV series that was about to come out, I read it in English. Very rich, and the series so far is very well made. I love magical realism and playing around with death in particular. I love the idea of our loved ones hanging out around us when they are technically no longer alive. Podcasts. QAA podcast. Really funny and informative on all things conspiracy theories. Warning on the vulgar language, but really love it, and it is the one podcast that I must listen to right away. I laugh so much. Death Panel. Disability justice in the U.S. and beyond. Thoughtful, very intelligent, and applies to everyone, even if you are not yet disabled or with a long-term health condition. It's Going Down. A roundup of what is going on in the anarchist world, mainly centered on the U.S. It gives us ideas and hope for what people can do, and shows what is actually being done by people who believe we need to take care of one another. Playlists. Let This Radicalize You. Based on the book by Kelly Hayes and Miriam Kaba, this playlist has a great mix of activist songs. 2024. Peter Gelderloos, highly recommend his Substack and all of his books, shared this playlist a couple of days ago and am listening to it nonstop. Death Panel. Based on the podcast of the same name, see above, the playlist includes all of their excellent outro songs. Sounds Like Healing 2. Saw the link to this playlist from the Community Care Clinic for Disabled and Chronically Ill Movement folks, which I attended for the first time last month. Great activists there with lots of resources and care. Untitled. This playlist used to have a title, but they needed to remove it. It is based on an incident that happened in Manhattan on 5th December 2024. It's quite fun. Stay tuned. We'll send another K-Doozy letter shortly to tell you about plans for the year to come. And I probably forgot loads from 2024, so apologies to all, especially myself. If I think of something important, I will add it to the 2025 K-Doozy letter. If you want to reach me, check out kdoozy.org or reply to this email or leave a comment in this Substack. Thank you. Oh, and if you're listening as a podcast, I think comments are open, or just reach out to me, kdoozy.org.